Hello, 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 everyone. Okay, so let's start. Yep, here. So, good day to each and everyone. I would like, before I will start, I would like to say thank you for inviting me to share my knowledge about e-commerce here. Thank you for having me here. So, I will be sharing about my ideas or my knowledge about e-commerce and specifically about drop shipping. So for those who do not know me yet, I'm Lucina Mahomok from Negros Occidental. I've been working as an e-commerce VA for almost 2 years, running 2 years by January. So I started working online last January 2018 until now as an e-commerce VA. So my niche is really more on e-commerce, more about eBay, e-commerce VA specifically about eBay. So this time I'll be sharing about more on e-commerce and the opportunities of virtual assistants who are who are into e-commerce. So we all know that there are so many works that we can get online. Let's say let's have like social media management, real estate VA, data entry, web research, customer service, and in my niche I am on e-commerce. So I am working with those drop shippers internationally, those people who are selling items online, like on eBay, like on Amazon, like on Shopify. So before that, we will discuss first what is really an e-commerce. So before, people are selling items, selling goods and services offline. It's like you have a physical store. Like most people, they rented a stall, especially in Manila or in any other big cities. They are renting a stall, like paying monthly rent, and then they have their goods and services being sold out. So, but when internet age came or the modern technology came out, people are now selling online. That's why it's e-commerce or buying of goods and services done over the internet. It is the activity of buying or selling of products online services or over the internet. So before, people used to sell items uh, just like anywhere. It's like they rent a stall uh, in the public market, business centers. But now, if you're going to put up a business, there's no need to rent. There's no need to have a big capital. All you need is an internet connection, a laptop, and you can do drop shipping. So it's more convenient of selling now compared before because people are already used to buy online. They know already that it's in trend that goods and services can be done online. So if you are a person who is thinking of putting up a business and doing that online, I believe it's a trend. There's no need for you to have a big capital. There's no need to rent. It's like if you are into drop shipping, there's no need for you to stock the items, no need for an inventory. That's why it's convenient now to do business doing it online, unlike it before. So there were so many big stores there internationally there were so many big stores who are now closing. It's all because of the e-commerce, meaning more and more people are going online, buying online with goods or services that they want rather than going to the physical store, especially if those people who are really very busy on their daily jobs, daily works. So they prefer to go to buy services or goods online. So that's why study shows that more and more physical store are now closed because e-commerce is really booming. So since e-commerce is booming, there were other business model that those businessmen are following, and one of the famous, very famous business model that they are into is what we call drop shipping. So what is this drop shipping? Why are there are so many people now who are hooked into drop shipping? So what makes it different to the other business model? Let's find out what's really drop shipping is. Let me check first. Okay. So people who are now into e-commerce or doing business online, they used to follow the business model called drop shipping. So what is this? Why more and more people are into this kind of business model? So drop shipping is a supply chain management method in which the retailer does not keep goods in stock but instead transfers the customer orders and shipment details to either the manufacturer, another retailer, or wholesaler who then ships the goods directly to the customers. So as we all know that if you're going to put up a business, especially if you want to have a stall or a physical store, it really needs a big amount. Uh, you need to have a big capital, or I mean, not that big, but you really need a capital. Uh, Unlike in doing business online using drop shipping, for me, it is the cheapest, I think, the cheapest business model that we can use. It's because this business method or business model don't need any stocks of the items. It's like you are selling. You have an online store, but then you do not have the stocks of the items. Meaning to say, you are selling an items, you are listing an items in your store, but then you are not holding the stocks. You do not have inventory on it. You do not have stocks put in your warehouse or in your house in order for you to sell online. But instead, what you need is only a supplier. You need an online store, you need a supplier wherein you can get items that you can sell in your store. Let's have an example for this. This is a mug, and then you have an online store and you are going to sell this mug. So you have a store, you listed this item in your store. There is description, there is pricing, there is pictures. But then you do not have this item in your hand, or you do not have on hand stock of this. But instead, you will wait for someone or a customer to buy this item in your store, and once they've done that, once there is a customer who will buy in your store, that's the time that you will process the order to your supplier. Meaning to say, if someone buys an item in your store, that's the time you will buy that item into your supplier. So you have an online store, you have a supplier, then you will just wait for a customer to buy in your store. So it's like when someone buying in your store, you will use that amount from the customer and then buy that item into your supplier. So all you need to do is to process the order to your supplier. And then it's the supplier who will ship the goods or the items into your customer. So in this way, all you need is an online store. List items there, put the prices, put the descriptions, put the quantity on that item, and then you will just wait if there is someone who will buy that item, and then use the money of the customer to process to buy that item to your supplier. And then it will be your supplier, or you will give all the informations of your customer to the supplier, and then it will be the supplier who will ship the goods to your customer. Of course, it involves the name of the supplier, the item that he or she is buying, then the address, and then the telephone number or cell phone number. So it will be your supplier who will ship the goods to your customer. Now this is good. It's because you do not need to have a big capital. All you have to do is your efforts to list items in your store. All you need is to have efforts in looking for a supplier, and then you can tie up with your supplier, have a contract with them. Then every time that you have items sold out in your store, then they will just process that and then tell your supplier that these are the items that you need, and then it will be the supplier who will send it to your customer. So there's no need for you to buy bulk items and then have that in your house or have that in your warehouse as your stock, and then you will just wait for someone to buy. Because if that's the case, it will not be different anymore on the physical, having a physical store that you are having as stocks. But the disadvantage or the downside of that is, what if you have bought an items on bulk and you keep that in your house or in your warehouse, but then there were only few buyers on that items. So what will happen is you spend a lot of money and then only few are buying. So it's like there's no profit at all. That's why more and more people are into drop shipping. They don't need to buy in bulk, but instead, they don't need to stock the items. They don't need a big warehouse. They don't need a bulk stocking of items, but instead, only list items in your store, have a description, pricing, and then just wait if someone will buy that item. And then that's the time that you will buy that item to your customer. So it's like it's a win-win situation. There's no need to have a big capital. So it's like whatever, kung ano yung amount na kaya mong ipanalo or ipatalo, then that's the right amount you should have. It's like no need to spend or having a big capital just to start a drop shipping business. So they love this drop shipping business model. It's because I believe also that this is a simple way to start a business, and especially to those who do not have that big capital. So for you guys, drop shipping should be the business model that you should follow. So for now, I think in the Philippines, most businessmen or business people who are into selling online, they use Facebook. They build Facebook business page. So it's like also drop shipping, but it's on Philippine way of selling online. But for the international people, international businessmen, they are doing drop shipping using platforms. So before that, I will discuss that one also about eBay, Amazon, Shopify. So, but before that, I'll give you a sample or a sample goes like this one. Let's have an image for that so everybody will understand. This is now the guide how drop shipping goes. This is the drop shipping model. So you have an online store, let's say eBay, and then you should have a supplier. Let's say your supplier is Alibaba, the famous Alibaba, or AliExpress, or any other uh, websites that you can use as your supplier. So what's important is you build your store, you have contract with your supplier. So whatever the items that your supplier has, you can list that in your store. It's because you will be getting your supplies in here. So whatever there is supplies, you can list that in your store. And then after listing, after like promoting those items using, let's say, Facebook page or any marketing that you will use, any marketing strategy, then you will just wait for your customer. So let's have this. Let's say you have now customer. Let's say your online store, you have now listed a mag. So that mag is from your supply. I mean, your supplier has that kind of stock, has that kind of brand of mag or any item. Then here we go our customer. So your customer will buy a mug in your store. Let's say that that mug is 150. You're selling that mug as $150. So your customer will pay you $150. But then the original price of that mug is only $100. So your customer is paying you $150. Keep the $50 and then pay that mug to your supplier for $100. So you have now the profit of $50 on your hand. Then after processing that one, you will give your customer's information to your supplier, the name, the item, the address, the cell phone or the telephone number. And then it will be the supplier who will shift the goods to your customer's address. There's no need for the supplier to send the item to you, but instead directly goes to your customer. So it's like reselling, but it's done online. And that's what we're doing also now here in the Philippines. We're into reselling. So it's like you're using the capital of the customer. I mean, as the capital that you're going to use is the payment from the customer and then buy that item to your supplier. So if the item is you're selling that item 150, but then the original price of that is only 100, so you have a profit of $50 in your hand. So that's how drop shipping goes. There's no need for an inventory. There's no need for stocking of bulk items. That's why this is easy. This is easy way of doing business online compared to if you're going to put up a store or rent a stall in your place. It's because there's so big overhead expenses. Like, let's say you want to renovate that area, that store, or you will hire someone as your sales lady. So it's like there's so much overhead expenses for you. You are already spending big amount, yet you are not starting selling yet. So unlike in drop shipping, all you have to do is to have an online store, list an items, have also a contract with your supplier, and then that's it. It's you can start for that. After that, it's now ready to cater any customers. So that's why more and more people are into drop shipping, specifically abroad, international businessmen. Because look at this, look at the model. It's like for sure for you, it's just like simple. And unlike in renting a in renting a stall or renting an area just to have a business, it will require a big amount of money. So for drop shipping, it's just a little bit of efforts to figure out things. Then you can start online. So let's have here the benefits of drop shipping. Why more and more people are businessmen are into drop shipping? The first one is you can control your profit margins. So there's no need to follow the retail suggested retail price if you are into drop shipping. So you can put profit margins any percentage that you want, like let's say 20% profit margins, 30% or 50%. So nobody will question that on you. It's your own price. It's like there's no need to ask permission to anybody if you're going to use or to have that 50% profit margin. All you have to do is see to it that your prices is competitive, are competitive to the other drop shippers as well. It's because if your price is too high compared to others who are into drop shipping, then there's a possibility that you will not get any sales, because there are so many drop shippers. So consider the pricing, and at the same time, the use or have that hot selling products. You need to do research what products that you will have in your store, a very unique item, less competitor items. So that's what you are going to prepare or to consider also in doing drop shipping. Next one is you don't need to be an established business entity before getting started with your store. Yes, you don't need to spend, or like let's say register your business in the local registry or in your area. It's because it's online, it's done online, so you can start anytime at your preferred time. There's no need to start like starting as a big one, but you can start small. There's no need to register that first. It's because it's an online. So but as it goes along, as it becomes bigger, then you can register your business, have that marketing strategy to make it well known. But then, but when you are getting started, you can start right away, as long as you have all those needed to establish an online store. Unlike in the physical store, it's like you need a big amount. Let's say you are renting, and then you need to renovate something, and you need an amount for the goods that you are going to sell. So it requires an amount of money, efforts, and then at the same time, you need to register your business. There are so many papers to prepare, like have that business to be registered in your area, get a mayor's permit or the business permit. But when it comes to online, you can start anytime, as long as you have items to sell in your store. You can build a store right away, so there's no need for you to have that business registered right away before you can start. So you can start before having it registered in your area or in any area that you are going to have that online store. Number three is you have access to a catalog of millions of products that you can add to your store. Let's say your supplier is AliExpress. AliExpress has a tons of items, have millions of items in their websites. You can list items there that you like. You can get a link on there and you can list that in your store, in your online store. Let's say you have an eBay store. You can list any items that you want. And then of course, it's not since there are millions of items, so you have so many choices. You have so many choices. Unlike in the physical store, it's like seems limited. When you are into in your supplier, you will only see how many items that they have in their store, or so what's in available on the supplier. For that physical store is what only you can sell also in your online store. I mean in your physical store. But then let's say in online store there are so many items to choose from, millions of items to choose from, but not only one supplier, you can have many suppliers as well. Not only AliExpress, not only Alibaba. For the international drop shippers, they're using Amazon as their supplier. They're using Walmart as their suppliers. So there are so many websites to choose from. So whatever items that you found in their websites, you can add that into your online store. You can have that profit margins that you want. And then let's just you should do marketing also of your store so people can see your store, so many it can reach out to many people. As we all know, also online there were so many competitors, so do your thing, your marketing strategy, study something on that also, so that your store will be well known with other online buyers. But then it's like you have so many items to choose from, so you will never run out of items, especially in AliExpress, in China brands. Although China brands website, so items from China, but they are of a high standard quality. And then the famous one is Amazon also. You can use Amazon as your supplier in your online store. So those are just some of the benefits of drop shipping. I know there are still so many, but I have just discussed three of them. So you can start drop shipping using or having a profit margins on your own. No, there's no need to follow the suggested retail prices in the market. You can decide whatever profit margins you want. Second is you can start right away without even registering your store in your place. So no one can stop you on that. Another one is you have so many choices of what items to sell on your online stores, especially that now that there are so many websites that you can use as your supplier. So since drop shipping is very in demand, or it is very well known to everybody. For international businessmen, they are using drop shipping business into different platforms. They're having that drop shipping business into different platforms that are very familiar to us. So we have here the platforms to sell online products. So in the Philippines, you have the familiar ones are Shopee and Lazada. So there are so many also Filipinos are kababayans who are selling items on Shopee or on Lazada. But for international, I think eBay also here in the Philippines, but I'm working as an e-commerce VA, so most of my clients are selling items on eBay, on Amazon, and then some are also into Shopify. So for now, most of my clients now are into eBay because before they jump into Amazon, they start eBay first. It's like eBay is your guide to step up into Amazon and then to Shopify. So on eBay, most of my clients who are in US account, they are selling items on eBay, having the supplier like Home Depot. They use Walmart, they use Kohl's, T-Mart, Sears. So there are so many suppliers that they are using. But then how are they going to use items that they sell on their online store? So here in the Philippines, if we are going to sell an item, it's like I want to sell this item because I like the color. I want to sell this item, it's because this is I see this item in my friends or like that. It's like you're copying this item to someone, and then I want to sell this item. It's because I saw this in other store like that. But in international or in the or international businessmen selling on eBay, they are not going to sell an item just because based on their emotions or based on they like to sell. But instead, they are selling an item on eBay based on data. So they're following, so most of them, they are enrolled in a certain course. They buy a course online, then follow that course, what's in it. And then they just found out that on selling on eBay will not be just like for the sake of selling an item just because you like the color, but instead you sell this item, it's because they are following a certain data. So it's like if an item is rare for you, you think, oh, this is not going to sell, or for you, you think this is not nice, but then it's selling, it's a hot selling items. So you are still going to sell that item, or you are still going to list that item in your store. It's because they have software, they use software to know what items or what hot selling items that they are going to sell on eBay. So they are following some certain criteria, like they are following some certain criteria, like they are copying an items to other sellers, knowing that that item has been sold out for like 5 times in a month, and then that items has so many feedbacks, good feedbacks, and then of course the supplier is available. Just reach. I mean, the supplier is available. So that's some of the criteria that they are going to list items on their eBay store. So it's unlike us that we are going to sell or list that item. It's because we know that today it's selling. Of course, that's some also of the one of the considerations, but mostly they are going to list an item in their store. It's because they have followed a certain steps or a certain thing to do why this item should be listed in his or her store. So they are following a data. They're using a software on how are they going to find those hot selling items and what makes that item is good to list in their store. So it's just the same that on eBay, um, you have an eBay account, you have items listed in your eBay account, you have already a contract with your supplier, Then all you have to do is to market your store and then wait for a customer or a customer to buy in your store. Once you have that customer bought an item in your store, you can use that amount to buy the item into your supplier. Of course, the prices on your EB store are already with profit margins already from your supplier. Now, another famous online platforms that most dropshippers are into is Amazon. So on Amazon, it's like you really spend money on this money up front. It's because let's say you are going to especially private labels. It's because you need to, let's say you're going to sell a mug on Amazon and then you want it to have a brand or you want it to have a logo. So let's say you have those items in AliExpress or in China, then you will just find any manufacturer there or any company that will design your logo, and then of course you will, on that way you will spend money. You will spend money already in buying the items and then have that into the company who will put a logo in your, let's say it's a mug. After that, you are going to ship that item to Amazon warehouse to the Amazon warehouse, and then you can then list that on your Amazon store. Of course, you have already the stock there in the Amazon warehouse, but then of course you will just wait for clients to or customers to buy in your items, but and then it will be Amazon who will take care of sending the items to your customers. So it's a little bit different. It's a little bit difficult compared to eBay. It's because in Amazon there's already a money upfront, like buying items on bulk and then have that a logo on your as your personal brand and ship that items to Amazon warehouse, and then that's it. Unlike on eBay, you don't need to do that. You will just list items on your store and then wait for a customer to buy that item, then use that money to buy or to process the order to your supplier. Then supplier will send that to your customer. So there's a big difference. That's why it's hard to jump to sell products right away on Amazon if you have not started on eBay. It's because eBay would be your training ground on how online selling goes. So from eBay, you can jump, if you have ideas already, you can jump to Amazon. And then another one is, the famous one is Shopify. In Shopify, it's like they're using a software as well connected to your Shopify store. The famous one is the Overlook. It's where all suppliers that it's like it gathers all the suppliers for your Shopify store, wherein you can find suppliers and then list that as you will list that in your Shopify store as your collections of items. So it's just like the same. It's only that Shopify, it's more on like a private or like a personal site. It will be connected with your own website. So it's like more on customized. I think that's the right term to use. Very customized compared to eBay, Amazon. So they're using Overlook. It will be connected to or linked to your Shopify store as well as to your website, and then that's where you can find suppliers of your items, serve as your collection of items in your Shopify store. So these are the three famous platforms wherein you can sell items online. These are the platforms where international businessmen are using. So I'm working with drop shippers who are into drop EB drop shipping. So I'm doing product research. I'm doing customer service on for them. For Amazon, I have no client yet for Amazon. I had before a Shopify, but I am really more on eBay. This is already my niche, more on eBay drop shipping. Let's proceed. Okay. So on listing items on these different platforms, drop shippers are also using a website on what items that they are going to sell on their eBay store, on their Amazon store. So for eBay, the very famous one is the Zik Analytics. This is the very famous one that most drop shippers are using. They have a monthly subscription on this. They're paying on this. So they can find hot selling products on here, what items that they are going to sell what items they are going to list on that particular day. And then this this tool will also show suppliers that most drop shippers are using. So if they're going to list an items, this tool will also give informations what's the supplier of that particular item. So there are so many uses on this. This is usually what they are using for eBay alone. So for Amazon is another also. For Amazon, I think the famous one is the Jungle Scout, the Helium 10, and then for eBay like Zik Analytics, Chili Hunter, Therapic. So those are the software that they are using in finding items, in finding suppliers that they are going to use for their eBay store. So in having an online store, specifically eBay, they have software they are using a software on how they are going to use or how they are going to find or what are the items that they are going to list on their store. After finding that item using that tool, Zik Analytics, they are going to list that item on their eBay store. But then, upon listing that item on the eBay store, they are also using listing software. So why they are going to use a listing software in listing an item in their store? It will take time to do product research. And then the more it will take time also to list the item. So in order for it to be automated, in order for your business to be automated, they are going to use a listing software. So of course, these software are paid, or I mean they are going to subscribe on this monthly subscription for them to have something to use in listing the software. I mean listing the item in their store. So it's like upon using this software, different softwares, like this is only 9, but I think there are more. These are the softwares that I have an experience with, but I'm sure there are still more software that they can use in listing items on eBay. So most of this software, it will help them save time in listing the item. It's because by only putting the link from the supplier, you'll just put the link of the item that you are going to list on your store. Everything will be transferred from the information of the item from your supplier going to your EB store. So from the description, from the color, from the cost, automatically it will be transferred to your EB store. So it's just like one click, one click of that link, it will be downloaded into your EB store. The pictures, the descriptions, the pricing. Of course, you will set up the pricing before you import an item into your store. So it will make you lessen the time that you are going to have in listing an item rather than not using a software. It will take time to list an item. So that's why most of the drop shippers, they are using a software in listing an item. But once you're doing, let's say you're doing manual, it's still okay to do manual. But if you're going to list many items, and also if you still have your daily work, or you're still working in your corporate, so I think it's hard. It's really hard for you to do that. So that's why these softwares came in, and at the same time the opportunity for us as virtual assistants came in. So this is the time wherein us Filipino virtual assistants has given an opportunity to work online. By how this drop shipping business gives us an opportunity. Okay, in listing an item or in doing product research, it will take time for them to look for the item that they are going to list online. So instead of spending so much time, spending lots of time in doing product research, they hire a virtual assistant. And that's where our opportunity comes in. So we do product research. We list items on their store. And then we do customer service on their store as well. So it's really an opportunity for us. It will give us work. And just like now, I'm doing product research. I'm also doing customer service of my client in UK in his eBay store. He has 3 accounts on eBay. So it's like I do process refunds, I do process returns, and I do process cases. So it's customer service, but then it's non-voice. It's non-voice. It's just like more on email support. So I prefer that one rather than doing a voice account. So I love doing answering emails. Of course, you have to learn. It's because you have to master that skills. It's because every customer has different problem to solve. Let's say asking for the tracking number, where is his or her items now. So it's like, and then sometimes also I do refunds. I'm making refunds. I issued postage label, return label to customers who wants to return back to us the item. So in that way, I was able to do work online, and I find it interesting. It's because it's non-voice, it's flexible. So, and I am paid by hourly rate. I guess I'm comfortable and I'm confident, and it's fine with me to work like this than working in a corporate. It's because I don't need to commute every day. I don't need to wake up as early as 5 a.m. to prepare everything and then travel. So I mean, as of now, I'm enjoying what's the benefits of working online. perks of working online. I love what I'm doing. That's why I was able to reach up to, I mean, I was able to have that almost 2 years now working online, because if I didn't like it, if I don't like what I'm doing, I guess I will not reach this 2 years in working online. So the rates is good, the task is fine, and then I learn from different, and every drop shipper or every businessman has a different business criteria, strategies. So you will learn from them, every person or every businessman that you are working with. And for those who are into e-commerce, it's not only about eBay. There are so many platforms that they are using, but in my area, it's really more on eBay drop shipping. So I've been working for more than a year, coming 2 years, and most of my clients are into drop shipping, AB drop shipping. So that's why I was able to share my ideas. I already have used different softwares on to be used in listing items on their store. And for that 1 year, I just have those experiences collected. I just collect all those experiences. In my second year, I am already uh, earning the amount that I want, and then I was able to. I am working with flexibility. I mean, I can work anytime I want. Unlike if you are going to work in a corporate, you really need to follow what's the timing of that company. So there are so many benefits of, I mean, there are so many good benefits of working online as an e-commerce VA. I think it's in demand now, and then there are so many, since e-commerce is booming, so there are so many drop shippers who are really looking for virtual assistants. So, and also in one store, it's not only one VA that's needed, especially if the store is already big. So tasks will be divided. Someone will do the product research, someone will do the listing, someone will do customer service. So you really have so many choices. See to it that you learn also. You can learn those by just making friends with YouTube, with Google. You will learn from other VAs also who have knowledge on this. So just have those efforts. Make an efforts on learning on how to list an items on eBay. Make an efforts on on studying what are those different softwares that they are using on listing an items in on their store. For sure, you will really get clients. Even on Facebook, I just have all my clients on Facebook. I didn't apply to any platforms they're using, like Upwork or online jobs. Although before I'm using that, but I found out that on Facebook alone you can really find so many drop shippers and who can be your possible or who can be your prospective clients. So as until now, I'm still on e-commerce. I wasn't able to upskill to different skills yet. It's because there are so many things to learn on e-commerce, and I'm sure in the long run I can start my own online store also. But for now, I'm still enjoying as a e-commerce virtual assistant. So if you have, I think I have shared um, my niche already. If you have questions on how you can work as an e-commerce VA, if you have questions about e-commerce or about drop shipping, you can send me message on my messenger. If I can answer all the questions, why not? If I have ideas to the questions that you are going to throw, then why not? I will share any informations that you need. So you can just send me a message on my messenger if you have questions. I think I have shared now about e-commerce, and I hope you have learned a lot, or I hope this will help you if you have not started yet working online. I hope you gain ideas, you gain knowledge on. I hope you can uh, choose as an e-commerce VA, although there are so many works also or that you can do online. But being an e-commerce VA also is fun. I'm sure you will get lots of clients, especially on Facebook. So clients are on Facebook, so why not find them on Facebook as well? So I think this is for now. This is what I can share. And then, like I said, if you have questions, just send me a message. That's all for now. Thank you.